5 wins and 4 losses for New Zealand. They'd won 4, then they lost 4, and their campaign is well and truly back on track with those 5 wins and a very, very healthy net run rate of plus 0.743. They should get that Q next to their name. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you call, this is the place where mathematicians have fun, not cricketers, because they will say that you win by 275 runs and I have to get you out in 3 overs and all sorts of calculations. But really, right now, for Afghanistan and Pakistan, I mean, the odds are now ridiculous.
Yeah.
Those, I mean, you're not saying Q because it's always theoretically possible.
Yeah.
But New Zealand are they're there.
A win for Sri Lanka would have meant that all 3 would have been in the race. Technically, it is still a 3-way race, but one can safely say that, I mean, the better of the 3 teams is pretty much going through.
India versus New Zealand, semi-final 1. South Africa versus Australia, semi-final 2. But I'll tell you what has happened.
By any chance, if there are any Pakistanis watching, here's a very, very bitter pill for you to swallow. Pakistan, to qualify in their last league game, have to beat England by 287 runs, or they have to chase down whatever England score in 16 balls.
I think that's that, isn't it? There's not much else to say. I think you summed it up really well. It's quite impossible to do that.
Yes, unfortunately, Pakistan's losses in the early part of the tournament, all those collapses, perhaps not helping their cause. If only they had won that one game, that one DRS call, maybe they'll look back at that one DRS call against South Africa, I think it was. If that had gone in their favour...
I think they shouldn't look at it that way. They should look at it at the other games and say why they haven't fought like they did in that South African game. That's how they should be saying they are a team which is way more better than what this table suggests, which is they've lost 4 on the bounce, and that's not the team Pakistan is. I can understand they had a tough game against India, but the way they played against Australia, the way they played against Afghanistan, their fielding, these are the areas that they would look and go, you know what, there are areas that we really need to improve, and that has been the tale for Australia so far, or rather Pakistan so far in this World Cup.
Much to learn for them as well, Pakistan?
Much to learn from them, disappointing, simply because, we've thought that they had one of the finest bowling attacks, and, their bowling has just let them down tremendously. Yeah. I mean, Shaheen Shah Afridi, of course, they have missed one of their top bowlers. Naseem Shah is a huge loss, but I mean, you still had a lot of... Hassan Ali didn't have a particularly bad World Cup. It's not that, they didn't have the bowling. But Haris Rauf was completely off. Shaheen Shah Afridi, look, he's got 15, 16 wickets. I think he's up there in wickets. But that's a bit misleading because he's got bunches in matches which didn't matter, in situations that didn't matter so much. So he's not got important wickets for them in important places. And if they look at the table, the one match they'll turn around and say they should not... That match against Afghanistan, the way they lost, that would have been a really, really bitter pill.
And also... there's always a lot of comparisons, but just to say how strong India is as a team, not in this format. In this tournament, they've been the best by a distance. If you take the previous 2022 World Cup that was held in Australia, the T20 World Cup, we missed Bumrah.
Yeah.
Naseem Shah is not what Bumrah is to India. But still, we managed to qualify to the semis rather comfortably. Yep. We got blown away in the semi-final. That's a completely different issue altogether, but we did qualify comfortably. Pakistan lost one Naseem Shah and they failed to compete in a lot of the games. So, there is a massive bridge there. He's a very good bowler, make no mistake about that. But to just lose one bowler and, be completely blown away in the tournament is a tad bit unfair, I feel.
If one were to take a very objective, neutral, very balanced view of why Pakistan lost, maybe that Fakhar Zaman injury at the wrong time, start of the tournament, they dropped him as well. Then the injury, Imamullah couldn't score runs, Abdullah Shafiq a positive. So Naseem Shah missing out and Fakhar Zaman getting injured or being dropped. Perhaps the 2 key reasons, because at times it's that 1 or 2.
So I'd say, though, I think there's one other key reason. You just had to get more production between 11 and 40 from Haris Rauf, Shadab Khan and Mohammad Nawaz. I mean, that middle, 11 to 40, Pakistan was in no control of. Their spinners gave them nothing. Then finally they changed the spinners. But that was the problem, that if their spinners did not control the middle, between 11 and 40, Pakistan always leaked runs. Even if you see the match against Afghanistan, once Afghanistan got going and they managed to weather an early storm, then they knew that they could just bat at 5-6, 5-6. So every team knew that if against Pakistan you get past the first 10, After that, it's not that difficult at all. And I think that's a serious issue for them.
Middle over is an issue with the bat as well because they seemed very timid, very defensive. They weren't able to take advantage of just 4 outside. And especially against spinners of the opposition teams, we hardly saw any singles being taken. So is Pakistan playing an outdated brand of ODI cricket?
They have a template which is not probably followed by other teams like in Australia or England, but that doesn't mean they have a bad template. What was happening is their lack of form with the ball showed. Haris Rauf was a massive miss for them. He was somebody who was touted to be the most important bowler who could bowl through the middle, pick up wickets and at the death, but he leaked a lot of runs in his first and second spell. And then it was Shadab Khan. He was the biggest miss for them this tournament, just couldn't pick up wickets, was a pale shadow of his past, and that really showed why Pakistan struggled.